Hey everybody, welcome to Homegrown. My name's Thomas Bergeron. I'm the principal trumpet of the Springfield Symphony, and I'm here today because the Symphony has asked me to give you a little tour of my home studio, my home music room, where I've been basically living right in this room for the last 5 months or so. So I do know the room pretty well. So I'm just going to go ahead and start the tour. I guess the piano here is as good a place as any to start. Got some Chopin on the keyboard. There's my meditation chair. It's my little meditation corner, which is actually very nicely lit at the moment. Yeah, this is just some analysis work that I've been pulling out because this is from my notebook from grad school ear training class, but I've been doing some of these projects with my own students. So that's out there. These are my piano books, piano exercises and stuff. Let's see, here we have a piece of art that I recently acquired from a local artist in Holyoke named Z. Stevens. And it's a collage piece, and it's called Classical Music. And yeah, Z goes to a high school in Holyoke called Lighthouse, which is a fantastic school. This is a picture of me on Good Morning America. I woke up very early to hold up that sign, yeah, my sister helped me make it. We didn't know who the guest was, so that's the sign we made. It's my Tibetan singing bowl, and here's some music texts. I can recommend a few. Alex Ross here. Alex Ross is one of the music writers for The New Yorker. This book, Listen to This, and also David Burden's How Music Works are two of the best texts out there on sort of the modern musical landscape. Really great stuff there. Let's see, Messiaen's Language of Mystical Love. I definitely did not steal that from the Williams College Library. We got a couple Mahler scores here, interviews with Seiji Ozawa, a Zappa bio. This is a great book. This is kind of essential text for music educators, the Music Teaching Artist's Bible. And this is a book that many musicians read, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. It's actually a great book for performers who find themselves in like high pressure situations, like auditions and stuff. And then of course Ben's Trumpet. This is a really cool thing that my sister found for me at a thrift shop in Copenhagen actually. This is a limited edition print of the manuscript of St. Matthew's Passion by Bach. It's really interesting stuff to check out while listening to that piece. So if you ever want to come over and check it out, you're welcome to. Let's see here. This is just kind of my tech closet. I've got a USB record player there that I use for sampling. All my hard drives with all my old recording projects on them. Some more microphone options. Every musician has a box of tangled wires, and that's mine. Let's see here. Back into the main room. This is my practice spot here, right in the middle of the room. You can see I've done some acoustic treatment. The corner I'm standing in now, you can hear the acoustics are pretty live because I'm standing in the corner. But in the center of the room, I've kind of placed these foam treatments so that the center of the room sounds kind of nice and balanced. Here we have my trumpets, of course. Here's some of my trumpets are out that I've been working with. There's some more down there. See, here I've got my wireless guitar, my yoga mat. I've got my warm-up book on this stand, and here I've got this book, The Well-Tempered Player, which I've been working out of during quarantine. It's a great book for trumpeters. It's like trumpet adaptations of Bach's Well-Tempered Clavier. So it's a great project because you kind of go through all the keys and you get to play Bach. Keyboard works on trumpet, which is cool. This is my whiteboard with reminders and daily affirmations. Today's reminder was to make this video. These are my mutes, little travel practice tool for the car. This is a snake that I use to clean my trumpets. All my valve oil, greases, maintenance stuff, polishing rags. These are my mouthpieces. This is my Inderal, which is a brand name of a drug called propanolol. It's a medicine that musicians take to help with nerves in really high pressure situations. So if I have a big solo or something, I might take one of those beforehand. These are my custom earplugs. My audiologist made these to fit my ears. Very important tool for anyone who sits next to Brian Deal on the Springfield Symphony stage, our fantastic principal trombonist. But these are great, and they've got these interchangeable filters, so you can change these out to have like different levels of sound filtration. Steve Reich clapping music. Great piece. If you know how to clap and read rhythms, you can play this piece with one other person. Really cool piece. I'm working on that with some students. Here I have some knickknacks, and let's see, this is a really cool handmade quilt that a parent of a student made for me that I love. And here is a picture of me and my niece. This was a little while back now, but this is us playing a duet. She's a little bit older now and plays violin, which is really cool. And she's doing great. Here we have just where I store my music. This is the jazz shelf, and this is the classical shelf. And you guys might enjoy this. This is a photo of me from high school where when I had a gig at Six Flags all summer, for a few summers actually. I played 5 or 6 shows a day at Six Flags in a Dixieland band. And this is my friend Ed and I guess you could call it performing. We had a lot of energy back then, and this is what they made us wear. So, what else here? It's my some more trumpets stored in here. And oh, here are my Springfield Symphony tails, which sadly I have not worn in far too long. All my tuxedo stuff is here, my regular tux, my white jacket, my vests, my various cummerbunds, depending on what the gig calls for. Hopefully there'll be a reason to use those soon. And here is the actual music production area. So I showed you my keyboard before, but this is a MIDI keyboard that's connected to this software called Logic, which allows me to use the keyboard to play basically any instrument you could imagine through this software using virtual instruments. I've got my iPad set up here so that if I'm working on a project where I need to look at a score or work with a score at the same time, I can kind of like have those both up. And I also have my laptop here, so if I need to be on a Zoom meeting, if we're working on like a collaborative project or something, I can have a Zoom meeting here, I can have the workspace here and the score up here, or just have that flexibility. So I thought I'd take you inside my computer a little bit here, just to show you in a little bit more detail some of the work that's done within this software and in the studio here. So I'll just show you a couple recent projects that I've worked on here. This is something that I put together for my brass quintet, the Atlantic Brass Quintet. We just did a project a couple weeks ago where we invited brass players from around the world to submit cell phone recordings of themselves playing their part along with our recording of a William Byrd madrigal. And so this was kind of a big project to try to put together to make it sound sort of real and cohesive, given that there were so many different sound sources. But this software is pretty amazing in terms of what it's capable of. So you can see I have it organized here, color-coded by instrument. So this is the first trumpets, second trumpets, French horns, trombones, and tubas down here. And so, here's my virtual mixer down here. So what I'll do is I'll group together the instruments and then give them each a little EQ. So this is an EQ grid for the second trumpet here. So you can see, basically these are the lower frequencies down here, these are the upper frequencies. So I'm kind of emphasizing I can draw this grid to emphasize a little bit more the upper frequencies and take out any lower frequencies that might have found their way into the recording, and that leaves space in the mix for those frequencies to come out, like in the tuba where we want to hear those frequencies. So you can see, for example, the tuba EQ looks like this. So it's kind of the opposite, where I've reduced most of the upper frequencies in the tubas so that the trumpets, there's space in those frequencies for the trumpets, and then we can kind of hear how the tubas sound more naturally down here. So there are a lot of other tools. You can see these dials here. This is how we create what we call a stereo image. So I have some of the instruments panned towards the right to varying degrees, and some of the instruments panned towards the left. So it really gives, when you're listening to it, the image of a brass ensemble on stage. So the trumpets are a little more to the right, the tubas are in the middle, the trombones and French horns are a little more over to the left. And that also helps us be able to hear the music a little bit more clearly. Next time you're listening to the radio, see if you can tell how the audio engineer has mixed those things. There will be certain instruments and certain parts of the song that are a little bit more in the right speakers and a little bit more in the left speakers. Oh, and I should show you too. This is one of my favorite parts of mixing. Is these curves here, these little graphs you're seeing are volume automation curves, and you can automate anything, but I always do some volume automation. So this is like I can automate individual instruments like this, or entire sections like this. This is all of the second trumpets. So it's really fun to work in this way, because I feel a little bit like, like I'm a conductor, like bringing out the first trumpets a little bit here, bringing down, the trombones, maybe this is the French horns, but, bring down this phrase just a little bit. So anyway, so let me just play you a bit of this so you can hear how it all came together. So you can hear this entire thing on the Atlantic Brass Quintet Facebook page. It's posted there if you're interested. Another recent project, so that's more like a production project. Another recent project that I've done this is actually for someone else's project. I recorded just some trumpet here in my home studio for this project. This is a project of a student of mine, actually. Her name's Christina Lee, L-I is her last name, if you want to check her out. She's got a really fantastic EP about to come out. She just graduated from Deerfield Academy, and she wrote, she created this EP of all original songs, and she produced the entire thing herself. She recorded all the parts herself. I recorded the trumpet here, but at my house. But she produced everything. She edited, mixed, mastered the whole thing herself. And so she was kind enough to let me show you a little behind the scenes here with this session. So let's see. Here's a little sample of one of the songs off her EP that I recorded some trumpet for. So yeah, this is not the final mix or anything. The trumpet actually sounds a little weird because of the way it's being processed through this software I'm using to create this video. But she recorded all this stuff, and then it's just this. It's so amazing to me how in quarantine we can put together music like this. She's got. I'll play you another sample here. She has an entire choir coming up. Here's her male choir. These are all individual tracks that she gathered, and then she's got a female choir. Let's see, that's the male choir. Here's the female choir here. And so using a lot of the tools that I just showed you on my other project, she was able to kind of bring this choir together with all the other instruments. And tell me the truth now. Tell me the truth, oh tell me the truth now. Is this what you want? Tell me the truth now. Tell me the truth, oh tell me the truth now. Is this what you want? Tell me the... Anyway, so that's Christina Lee, and I'll show you a little bit of the other kind of work that I tend to do a lot in my studio, which is composition and arranging. This is an arrangement that I put together for my latest album. It's kind of like a composition, but it's based pretty heavily on this Scriabin piano sonata here. So this software enables me to, put together real professional-looking notation for musicians to read. And I have this little hidden keyboard down here that enables me to it's one way that I can input notes by just typing on the keyboard. You can see there these notes were just created. And let me get rid of those because that's not what I want here. And so yeah, it's the software is called Sibelius. It allows you to write and also hear back. So it'll play back all of these instruments for me, using virtual instruments, so I can kind of hear how it sounds. And then I can format parts and scores to look the way I want them to. So that's a little bit of what goes on inside the computer. And thanks for letting me geek out about that a little bit. I think that is where the tour ends. So thank you for joining me for this. I hope it was maybe interesting or something, or a way to occupy 10 minutes. But I'll just say again, how much I miss everybody. I miss playing in the hall and gathering in that great space to make music with all of you. And I hope that we can do it again soon in some capacity, that we can make music and share music together. And I thank you. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your continued support of the orchestra. Okay, bye.